Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the CryptoCast podcast. Today's guest is Jared Gray, the CEO of Bitfineon, an exchange that actually just launched over the weekend, and they were listed, I think within the last 24 hours, they've just been listed on CoinMarketCap. I was actually lucky enough to beta test the exchange last week, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. It's a very user-friendly platform. And I guess full disclosure, also CryptoMood, the company behind CryptoCast, is also partnered with Bitfineon. We actually provide the news feeds that they have inside in the exchange. In any case, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. It was an absolute blast. And without further ado, let's take a listen.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm all right,
Doing all right. Surviving the pandemic.
Yeah, so far so good. Just grinding away on the exchange and code-based development for our blockchain project, ALQO.
Yeah.
And
So I guess well, can we start with that then? Like I was actually taking just a brief look before we started on the phone. So to my understanding, ALQO is kind of the cryptocurrency that's going to like underpin the exchange, and then as well as another fiat to crypto payment gateway that you're developing.
yeah, so ALQO originally was well, it started in 2017 in November, originally as a proof of work coin. And as you stated, yeah, it's supposed to underpin a lot of the like liquidity and incentive and other financial and digital asset products that we want to build and integrate into Bitfineon. So it's supposed to underpin all of that stuff, and we had some setbacks with the market and former CTO, and so we did some restructuring over the last, I don't know, 12 months, and things are like really moving along pretty quickly now. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's
That's So sorry, I was
been
just
a
gonna say
journey.
that it's quite interesting. So I guess you how is it that you got, like, I guess, initially into crypto? Because it's obviously it sounds like at least the project kind of I guess piggybacked on like the huge kind of wave of interest that came into the space in late 2017 and early 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think for myself personally, I've been well, I owned a computer consulting company for about 14 years, and
Oh,
my
wow.
background's computer engineering. So I've been aware of cryptocurrency for quite a long time, but was always just too busy to kind of pay it any mind. It was always, like a boutique or a niche kind of thing that people would say, "Oh, hey, have you heard about this or have you heard about that? And check out Bitcoin." I was like, "Yeah, I don't have time for that." Um, and then, come 2016 is when I really started. I had a buddy of mine who um, was involved with, I mean, he was just like buying large chunks of it for his affiliate company. I'm not entirely sure what they were doing, but he was like, yeah, this Bitcoin stuff, we're able to get cross-border payments done quicker, and it keeps going up. The price keeps going up, and I guess at that time it wasn't quite, you know, to where it got to in 2017 and early 2018, but um, the appreciation of it was attractive, and so I just started kind of paying it some more mind, and um, then I started doing a little bit of investing, and I got in with some altcoin projects and started working with their teams kind of on the engineering end of things and contributing to some white papers and doing some project management and stuff like that. And kind of out of an extension of that involvement, um, actually a friend of mine who uh, highly intelligent guy, physicist,
Yeah.
who I worked with on a project. Yeah, he actually introduced me to the ALQO guys, to the old CEO,
Ah,
um, and that's how I got introduced to the team. And there was some internal like conflicts going on between the former CEO and the CTO, Kevin, who we actually ended up having to let go and replace. and David Wilson is our new CTO. I know you've spoken with him before. He's
Yes.
absolutely awesome guy. Um, but yeah, I got involved kind of in that way and came on um, as the CEO to replace Khan, and then uh, man, we the bear market hit. The VC funding. It was my first foray into VC funding. Like I had done a lot of government contracting, and so I was familiar with kind of the red tape process of what it takes to get one of those contracts. And it's on par with the due diligence that VC, a lot of VC firms require.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so that took probably, I don't know, 9 months. So
and sorry, so this is when this is around like the 2017, 2018 time.
no, I came on as CEO for Bitfineon Limited, which is the company that develops ALQO as well as the Bitfineon exchange, as the CEO in July, uh, late July, early August 2018. So
Okay.
yeah, we started the VC search in, I guess, February of 2019.
Damn. And so I'm curious then, because at least for me, when I'm looking at different cryptocurrency projects, I'm always curious as to what, I mean, I guess I should start by saying that, of course, I've taken a look through the exchange. I just saw this morning actually a couple tweets. Is it technically out now, or is it still or is it still kind of in the beta development phase? Because,
Yeah, I mean, it's out, it's active. We're kind of in like a soft launch period.
right.
We had a closed beta. I think actually David gave you access to the
Yeah.
closed beta. Yeah.
Yeah. Last
So
week.
okay, great. Yeah, so then we did like a soft launch. We're not pushing out all like the heavy marketing stuff just yet. We wanted to, get it out on social media and kind of start getting feedback and, work through any bugs that there might be before we really push it out to the masses. But it's available. People can go to it. Trading's active.
That's
Yeah.
and if I remember correctly, no, it's so kind of like Binance, no KYC up to 2 Bitcoin for withdrawal or something like that.
Yeah, we're following that kind of uh, offshore crypto trading business model that Binance and Huobi and OKX and OKCoin, a few others that kind of made popular. Um, but yeah, no KYC up to uh, well, I mean, no KYC for unlimited crypto deposits and trading, but there's a 2 Bitcoin per day withdrawal limit. And then if you KYC, if you do the full KYC process, you get a 100 Bitcoin per day
Yeah.
withdrawal limit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm curious, and because I guess I kind of got a little bit sidetracked, but I guess my first experience with the exchange is that it's really like it's so much more intuitive than the other ones out there. And I think the reason, again, as I had mentioned to you, is that it's just so, these exchanges are like, as Binance, for example, starting to expand, they have like their academy and they have all these things and they have, so like you open up and you're seeing all these pop-ups for all these different things. And like, yes, it's almost like in terms of the attention of the user, it feels like it's supposed to be a trading platform, but so much of it is being kind of pulled away from that to other things, whether it's staking or whatever else, which I mean, I know Bitfineon does also have, or this sort of like staking function, which I definitely want to hear more about in a second. But I guess, again, my point is that you're the Bitfineon or Bitfinian, I guess, to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, Bitfineon, our CFO, Ryan, calls it Bitfineon. So I guess either is technically correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so much more intuitive and user friendly, and because it's just so it's way less cluttered than these other exchanges. And I was using Bittrex the other day, and I was just thinking, God, like, what? Just it's such a like an not like an unsavory exchange, but it's just like such a it's shocking that some exchanges still continue to have a poor user experience just due to the fact that they haven't developed, and then the other ones that have developed so far that they've kind of like, at least for me, is like a I guess, semi-active trader have kind of alienated, the main like trading base, and you have to dig a little bit deeper to get what you would get before when you just, would log in and you were there. And that's, yeah, and then that's something that I definitely want to give a round of applause for to Bitfineon for doing that. And yeah, so I guess my question out of that, I'm sorry, I also still waking up a bit here.
It's all good.
The my question out of that is what is it, I guess, from your perspective, that Bitfineon brings that other exchanges, or either brings or hopes to bring, that will make it stand out from other exchanges, whether it's something that has to do with ALQO, or some other, I guess, functionality that you're planning to have it on the exchange, if it's not already there.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you covered a lot in there, and I'll just kind of I'll talk to what I think is most important for
Yes.
us, what we're doing. But I mean, user experience to me is um, it's just like the major failing of crypto in general. In like 98% of all of the products, and it was one of the like main reasons for me to want to do an exchange. I just looked across the space, and no one is really trying to innovate because Binance had such success, and Huobi and these other large exchanges had such success with this formula, that people want to replicate that formula for the sake of pure greed, and they're not
Exactly.
interested in they're not interested in building something unique. I mean, the other half of my life was dedicated to being a professional musician. So while I was running my computer consulting company, I was a professional musician, so like the creative part of my brain is always going. And when I started doing these wireframes and working with designers, I was like, I really don't want to go down this route of these cookie cutter designs that everyone's just slapping up, and you know diluting the exchange space with just clones. They're just money grabs. And I mean, we have to make money as a business, and um, there is an element like of like normalcy or standardization that exists in what you need to have in an exchange, and that stuff exists in Bitfineon. But even those things, like the trading page, are trying to make it different. We're trying to captivate people in some manner so that they feel that we're reaching out to them in some way. I mean, it sounds kind of corny maybe a little bit, but that's kind of the ethos of what Apple has done. And I'm a huge Apple proponent, even though I use Windows PCs and everything, or Linux. But um, just Steve Jobs' approach to design, how he understood the customer, is just, people should CEOs or anyone who's creative, there's so much to learn from people like him. And that's what we try to infuse in what we're at least the design with Bitfineon. But as far as unique use cases for people to take part in the ecosystem or to come check out Bitfineon, we do have products that we're developing. I don't want to talk too much about
Of course.
those that
Yeah.
haven't hit the market yet, but we have some innovative takes on like the peer-to-peer market that we're going to put out, and we think that that's going to just make the process of onboarding large chunks of these fiat currencies into the platform. You kind of see some of it taking shape in like Binance and the other big exchanges and their peer-to-peer markets, but we're gonna try and innovate on it a little bit and make that process, that user experience, easier. I still think for most people, they go to an exchange if they're not from crypto, right, or part of it. They go to an exchange and they're just like, "What in the world? Like, what is going on? I don't know what this
Exactly.
is." Click, and they're. I mean, I honestly, there's probably a metric somewhere where you could look at it. I'd like to see the bounce rate on all of the pages within Binance, because I'm sure the analytics are pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like you were saying, this whole, it's just so fascinating that people that are inside cryptocurrency, they kind of forget, that the people that are outside of cryptocurrency, are going to have a much harder time like adopting it if they haven't already had like basically just that learning curve is really steep. And it's amazing that for me as someone who I mean I've used probably like over a dozen exchanges and I'm still like I think Bitfineon is probably one of the only ones where I've gone to in recent times where I look at and I'm like, okay, I understand what's going on here. Like I'm still just perpetually being thrown into, like this little learning curve with every single piece of a technology, I guess every single platform that I use in the cryptocurrency space, whether it's related to DeFi, whether it's related to exchanges, or even if it's wallets, like I come into it and I just think like, okay, like what exactly is going on here? And it's amazing that even me as someone who's been for a couple of years as well, is like I still find myself occasionally in those situations. And so I wanted to ask, I guess, again to touch on that, I guess whatever staking function you're going to have there with ALQO, like what is that main is that going to be basically the main function of this cryptocurrency? Like, what's the use case for that? I'm curious.
Yeah, so yeah, I meant to touch on that. Thanks for bringing it back up. So ALQO, there's a whole slew of products that we obviously want to build with ALQO, and we have a new chain in development that we're building uh, really from scratch to accomplish our goals, and that chain's called Falcon.
Oh,
Um, yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe David shared something with you about it, but we want to introduce some smart contract technology and stuff. Some with a couple of the products that we have in development. One of which is what we're calling auctions. It's that play on the peer-to-peer. There's some special kind of simultaneous settlement features that we want to build into the chain so that people can interact on Bitfineon, even though it's a centralized exchange, uh, in as much trustless, in as many trustless products that we can build, and we want to build those on top of Falcon. So there's a lot of stuff we have in development planned for that, but the share pool is the main use case for ALQO now, and the share pool is essentially where we take 50% of all of the uh, net trading volume that is generated on Bitfineon, and we allocate it to this product called SharePool, where we pay out ALQO rewards to those ALQO holders who stake their coins on the exchange in like a tiered locking period. So if you do like 14 days, you get X percent of that term length for 14 days. If you lock it for 30 days, if you lock it for 60, 90, 180 days, you get a higher percentage and more rewards. So for the people that are going to be long-term holders and really believe in what we're building, they're going to lock for 90 days or 180 days. They're going to get the full benefit of the share pool as we grow the volume.
yeah, it's amazing. That's and then just to clarify, then is ALQO for the time being, is it built on another blockchain? It's built like so Falcon or Falco would be the new blockchain that's in development, and right now it's maybe an ERC20 token. If that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, well, Falco is actually from the Never Ending Story, right? I'm
I haven't
dating.
seen that. I haven't seen that movie
Really?
in so long. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it once when I was a kid, but I just remember that goofy dragon. That's it.
yeah. That's Falco, or maybe the kid was Falco, or I don't remember. Anyways, I'm dating myself. But what was the question you asked? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, that's all right. Like whether so, if I understand correctly, Falco is the name of the blockchain that's in development, and for the time being, ALCO is just like an ERC20 token on another blockchain, or is it on its own chain?
Oh, yeah. So it's right now it's built on the Bitcoin core code base, and it's a fork
Ah,
of Pivx.
no
Excuse
way.
me. Yeah, of Pivx, and eventually we will do a like an open-ended swap to move to the Falcon blockchain once it's ready. So people will be able to just migrate their coins over to the new chain without any friction. It'll be completely frictionless, and most likely it'll be done uh, majority of that swap through Bitfineon.
Right,
And
of
if
course.
people have, yeah, if people have like a stake locked for like 3 months or whatever, we would just swap the coins out on the back end and take care of it for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really interesting because I actually wrote a piece because I also do writing for Coin Bureau, this YouTube channel.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard, but I do writing for their website, and and every week I kind of do an in-depth like review of a coin, and I did Pivx I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so it's interesting that I know like the whatever John McAfee's ghost coin there is apparently like a well more of like a copy paste, but I guess their developers claim it's a fork. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean that's really interesting. I don't know if it's just because I've written like I guess Pivx seems to have been in the news a little bit more lately for whatever reason. So anyway, the I wanted to ask, I guess, last thing to touch on what can we look forward to, I guess, then from Bitfineon for ALQO? Do you have any like what's your roadmap, sorry, for the next year or two? Are there any like milestones you're hoping to achieve? Like the exchange is technically out now. Is there anything else we can look forward to? Are there going to be any sorts of like promotions or like is there anything you can reveal about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think our main goal right now is to just build brand awareness for Bitfineon, and we're in the process of another VC round to finance the building of a futures derivatives platform under the Bitfineon brand.
Nice.
And yeah, and so again, all of those products would contribute most likely to the share pool being all under the same brand. So there's a lot of use, I guess this isn't financial advice, but if I were one of those people who were speculating, I might find that a futures platform committing 50% of its, net revenue to something like the share pool to be attractive.
Yeah,
So um, that is most likely on the immediate roadmap for the Bitfineon brand. And then for ALQO, we actually internally completed an alpha version of the new Falcon chain.
sweet.
Yeah, so we're doing some testing on that stuff, and just, I mean, we're months away on that. It's going to have to go through major iterations before we even have a test net available, publicly for people to interact with. But yeah, I mean, I think we want to get another iteration of the ALQO wallet out where uh, people will be able to stake from the ALQO wallet without
Nice.
committing their coins to the exchange, so that, you know, the people who find the UX of the exchange interface and they don't mind staking their coins with a centralized custodian like ourselves, um, it won't appeal to them. But to the people who, are, I don't want to say purists, but who, take it seriously, who
Yeah.
take it seriously. I mean, take the crypto mantra seriously. They're going to have that option to lock their coins in their wallet and reap the benefits of the share pool as well. So David and I are deep in the lab right now, getting all that stuff ironed out.
Sweet. And just one quick question now because it's coming to my mind. So how big is the team then behind ALQO, behind Bitfineon? Like how many guys are there or gals?
Yeah. Do you mean just the executive team or like the development team and
Like
just everybody?
everybody.
I don't know, maybe 20.
Okay,
Uh,
nice.
there's 5 executive team members, and then, yeah, I would say about 20. It might be like 18, but approximately 20.
Nice. So it sounds like a solid team, especially with your background and the new CTO, David, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, David's a powerhouse. The kid's, I say kid, he's my age, but yeah, he's highly knowledgeable. He has actually been in crypto for a really long time, and ran a couple of uh, pretty professional mining farms. And so he
Oh,
was, if I he might have to correct me on this later, but I think he was the second person to mine ALQO uh, when it hit the market back in 2017. But yeah,
interesting.
great developer, great person. Just, we're lucky to have him. And then Ryan Durda, our CFO, he's actually a former Series 7 broker. And
Oh wow.
yeah, JC Aruzen, our COO, is a former VP of Bank of America. So we
What?
got some, yeah, so
Jeez.
we got, yeah, we got some guys on the team that that know what they're doing, and we all work really well together. So a lot
Yeah.
of momentum now.
So it sounds like you're a sort of sleeping giant of sorts then, I guess.
Uh, I don't know. I mean,
Sleeping falcon, I guess you could say.
maybe sleepless giants, maybe.
Sleep. Yeah, because it's what it's 4 a.m. or 4 almost 4:30 where you're at now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
What
man.
are you gonna do?
Yeah, and I guess I'll just out of my own curiosities, like what's your schedule like then? You sleep during the day and then you're just working, from like the evening till the morning, basically.
I mean, personally, I don't require a lot of sleep, so I might sleep 4, 5, maybe. If I get 6 hours of sleep, I'm good for maybe almost 2 days.
Wow.
So like, yeah, 4 or 5 hours, I'm up and ready to rock and roll. I mean, so I just kind of sleep whenever. If there's a lot of work to do, I'll just focus on the work, and then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna lay down for a few hours, take a
Oh
power nap,
wow.
get up, get right back to it.
Damn, man. And that's been your grind for like ever since you joined ALQO or even before then?
Maybe that's my grind for the last 20 years, maybe.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. That's admirable. That's pretty solid. I guess I was gonna ask like what does it take to build an exchange? And I guess I have my answer there at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to build not even just an exchange, but all the guys I talk to from projects that are building, worthwhile um, products for their projects, they're up early or late or whatever, but they're always on the go and they're always working on their project, and that their work-life balance is totally screwed up. And because, this is a super competitive, new industry, and we're coming in late with a product where there are some massive giants with infinite war chests. And so you're going to have to at least match their output level and find places where you can improve. And it's sometimes you're just going to have to give more than they are willing to give, because they're kind of kings of the mountain now, right? So,
Right.
I mean, that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Damn, man. Well, I mean, I'm personally I'm looking really forward to it. I'm hoping I'm probably gonna start control. Well, now that you've mentioned the benefits of the ALCO pool there, I think I'm probably gonna be taking a look at that over the next few days, especially since I got paid today. So that'll be a nice thing because I'm always I don't know, personally I'm always on the lookout for these sorts of projects, and it's of course it's amazing that you work with CryptoMood with our company to do a little bit of the news feed or whatever you have in the platform. But it's yeah, I mean that's I'm really excited for what you've described, as the next year or two for the project, and I mean we'll definitely have to keep in touch, and yeah, man, I'm really stoked.
Thanks, appreciate it, Daniel. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited not just for our project and like our partners like CryptoMood, but also for the industry too. Like, not to sound like corporate CEO robot or anything, but it's a really exciting industry, and it probably helps contribute to that passion and drive to like not sleep, because it's like what's going to happen, um, what's coming out. Oh, this is exciting. If you're trading at all, the markets never sleep, so you're always on the go. But I'm interested to see in a year or two where we're at as an industry as well, and to be a part of that and be successful would just be a kind of icing on the cake for me.
Yeah, man. Amen to that. Amen to that. Anyway, man, I won't take up too much more of your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll speak again soon. Once you got the next big announcement.
Awesome, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Take care, brother.
All right, bye bye.